Woo, hello guys. Well, it's been a little bit. I decided to go ahead and get this video up and recorded. This is a cool amp that I really regretted getting rid of, honestly. The Egnater Armageddon. I would even... I don't know, well, okay, I don't want to be taken out of context, but I would even dare to call this amp the original Djent amp, right? Or at least one of the ones that kind of helped shape tube amps into Djent amps, and not it be the Axe FX and Kemper and stuff like that. I remember first seeing this amp whenever I had, well, okay, I'll tell you the story on how I came up with mine. I really wanted a very clean, chunky amp, and I bought a Mesa Boogie Mark IV. And the Mesa Boogie Mark IV, I didn't have the knowledge on how to make that amp sound good. I really didn't. It wasn't pushing enough gain for me. Nowadays, I do know how to actually set one up. I would love to get one again. But I didn't back when I was a kid. At the ripe age of 21. Back when I can consider that now being a kid. That's kind of, yeah. Anyway, we won't get into that. So, I traded from a guy. I had to drive almost 4 hours down south Oklahoma. I live in northern Oklahoma. And I had to drive all the way clear down south Oklahoma, dang old near Texas there. And I ended up trading him my amp for the Egnater Armageddon. Because his was pristine, my amp was beat to crap, but he really wanted a blues amp, I wanted a metal amp. I knew nothing about this amp, but I heard him plug it in, we played it, and it was just like, whoa, well this is kind of killer. So I'll show you a lot of features that this amp has, and I mean a lot of features. What you just heard me play in the intro there was Periphery's Scarlet, and it is boosted. There's a reason why I played that song. I was trying to look up more things on this amp on how to make it sound a little better, because I still was crap at dialing tone. And I saw Misha Mansour, a video of him playing this amp at NAMM. Literally, you could barely hear the amp at all, but it was an entertaining video because he's screaming, literally screaming, because the crowd is so loud and the amp is so unbelievably loud. He's screaming over this crowd at Tosin Abasi going, "This amp is amazing!" Just screaming and pointing at it and just... like, and he's sitting there playing on it, and Tosin's like, you know, from back in the crowd, and kind of walks off and all, and Misha's just having a good old time with this amp, and I think this amp, literally, not only is one of the very first ones to have this ISP decimator, and my camera froze. Awesome. So when I wave my hand in front of it, it's... okay, I'm just leaving this technical difficulty in here, because, yeah. There's not a whole lot I can do right now, and I do not want to re-record this. But I am going to deactivate my camera and reactivate it, and it should fix it. I don't know why it's been doing that lately. Good old computer problems. But anyway, so he ended up, you know, really loving this amp, and here we go. Right here, this ISP decimator. Yeah. I think this is one of the very first amps to ever have that. There was another amp at the time, the Engel Invader. Had this at the time, and this kind of competed with it in the sense of looks. I don't know which one came first. If I had to guess, probably the Engel came first. But regardless, this amp followed suit right after. I don't know if it's a direct ripoff. I'm not 100% sure. So, it is one of those things that I'm not able to find a whole lot of information. I had to get back on the Wayback Machine just to get this amp page even working. They discontinued this amplifier. I don't know why, because it is a killer amp. Egnater just kind of sells their bluesy stuff now. Maybe this amp didn't do well enough, which would be a shame, honestly. And I'll show you guys the Wayback Machine and all that good stuff here. I'll go ahead and I'll do it now, because why not? Why not? So... the Armageddon is a 120-watt, 3-channel, fully MIDI-capable metal amp with the ISP decimator built in for premium 6L6 power tubes and 6 hand-selected 12AX7 preamps tubes for this tubes fuel this Goliath. The 3 distinct channels take you from pristine, open, clean to extreme high-gain metal crunch. Egnater signature tight, bright voicing switches on each channel custom tailor the low and high-end response. The ISP decimator G-string offers... yeah, we know what that does. And it's pretty cool. It has everything on here that you would need. It has this awesome foot switch below that's just, it's freaking awesome. It's a tank. And let's show you guys the back panel too, because I'm not turning my amp around. because that would be a lot of work. Honestly, behind my head here, I'm gonna just simply power supply. You could switch it to whichever country you're in here, which is great. MIDI setup with dip switches to set up your MIDI properly, pretty cool. There's the foot switch plugin, XLR or unbalanced if you want to go out that way, which is always cool on both. You have your bias mods here, where you can twist, turn, do stuff like that for new tubes that you replace. Very easy access without having to use a bias machine. I believe that's how that works. Don't quote me on that. I don't work on amps. Your impedance switcher, of course. Your two line outs for your cabinets. A recorded line out, which is very interesting. I don't know. I don't think this can do that without a load box. I don't know. So I would use a load box until told otherwise. And if somebody else tells you that, that's on them. And then you have your channel 1, 2, and 3 reverb volume, which is pretty cool. Which their reverb, I wouldn't use it. It's not my thing. And their effects loop, which also has volume knobs. And pedal in and out switch. I don't know what that does, actually, I'll be honest. But really, really cool. I don't have too much of a use for the effects loop currently. I don't run a whole lot of effects, but I do have a bunch of effects. So I probably will give it a shot here on a deeper, on a much deeper dive into some of my effects pedals. I'll probably do the effects loop and the front, just to, you know, just to show difference in tone. Very, very cool amplifier. Of course, we can show the front here. It's the same as what you're seeing on camera. Just this is blown up a lot bigger now. You have your, look at all these little dip switches here for the tightness, brightness, gain, and we'll go through all that too. And your, the mid-range boost. Now, this is killer. I've never seen an amp with this. I do not believe the, Engel Invader, or Engel Invader. I don't even think it has this. This is killer, guys. Listen to this, okay? This is really, really freaking cool. So, where is my microphone? Let's mute that. Ooh, sorry, keep hitting my cable here. So you can either massively scoop the mids with that, or you can massively boost the mids with that. And let's play it with the completely. Sorry guys, if you're just listening, you're gonna have to actually watch the video to see those cues. You can see the light turning off and on when I turn the mid-range boost off and on. Now completely scooped, I'll just do it off and on, back and forth with that for a second. Okay, so you can definitely hear that, and it's, oh my god, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. It's pretty killer. So that mid-scoop boost thing, you can do so many different things with it. I do actually prefer mainly playing with it off, but, I mean, it's pretty killer. I love this amplifier. The crunch channel, it's a crunch channel. It's, you know, it's pretty okay. It's a little high gainier. I'll go ahead and I'll switch over to it. Because it's a little... It's a little higher gain than your average crunch channel. And of course your clean channel with the boost off, you're going to get a... Whoop. Keep hitting that cable. So, pretty nice in general. I like it. Everything about it's pretty good. It's your Djenty amp that really wasn't out before these Axe effects. It didn't... This is an amp you could get it out of. Now, of course, the original Djent amp, of course. People are going to jump on me of that. Like I said, controversy, right? The 5150 is clearly the original Djent amp with the vintage 30 and all that good stuff. I believe all that tone I'm getting out of is, shoot, is that the DV77? Actually getting all that tone out of the DV77 setting on my torpedo. And the vintage 30 kinda, of course, you play through a vintage 30. So you can definitely hear that Djenty there. Sorry, I should have had my vintage 30s probably turned on first, but I love those DV77s so much. It's a great sound. Cole Keller Studios, they're the ones who do the DV77s there that I have. And Glenn Fricker and, Torpedo actually have the vintage 30s that I prefer to use. I need to get Nollies. That'll probably be the closest to Djent you could get. Plus, I have a... Soon, I'll have the Horizons, Misha's pedal for boost, essentially. And I'm really going to check that out. Stay tuned for more, that's for sure. But yes, this is a cool Djent amp. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100,000% sure. Now, Misha's never said this, but I am very, very, very certain that this amp is what inspired him to make his Invective. Almost 1,000% certain. He loved this amp. Of course, they discontinued it. Now, that's the thing is, he's just got a little bit of power. You know what I mean? It's a possibility that, it's a possibility he probably could have worked with Egnater, but he probably didn't like this tone as much as the 5150. Thus comes the PV Invective. So that's probably really just came down to preference for him. But I think it would have been really, really cool had he spec'd this out a little more if they were, especially with them discontinuing it. If he were to bring it back and really kind of slap his name on it and tweak it a little bit, I think it would have been a really cool thing for him to get his hands on. But maybe that wasn't as much fun for him. Who knows, actually. I wouldn't mind asking him about it and seeing, what really happened. I wish I could talk to Egnater and figure out what happened with this amp. Because it's killer. This thing's, I don't know, it just freaking, it sounds so good. And I'm not a Djent guy, like I said in the last video. I'm a folk metal guy. But you gotta appreciate what this amp is and just how it sounds. It's such a unique sound, and blending this amp with the Hughes & Kettner Warp X, oh man. Like, now you get some fat tones from that, and that's something that y'all be seeing here a little later on too. We're gonna have a lot of fun with these amps, guys. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this Torpedo, what we can do with it. I'm going to show you many more pedals. I'm going to be doing a Tube Screamer shootout. And actually, I'm going to show it on... If I show it on... It's funny because I got a green screen behind me, right? And obviously, if I show you some Tube Screamers, you can't see them. So I kind of got to do this number right here. And we're going to be testing out how much this lines up with the TS9. As you can't even see it there at all. So it has a TS9 setting. Up. There we go. TS9 setting versus a real TS9. And that's going to be really cool. I'm going to try and get this pedal fixed up. The pedal that Josh is after from Josh, if you see this video, for the love of God, I've been trying to get a hold of you on this. I have the tube driver. Yeah, I know, it's only a name, right? He's got the same one. This thing's freaking heavy. The Delta Lab. It sounds awesome, but mine is not working properly. I need a good pedal guy that can fix this. For the love of God, Josh, hit me up. I've tried commenting. And you know what? He wants this pedal. If it sounds the exact same, I'd give this more rare one to him in exchange for one that just says tube, whatever the other one is. I don't know. Just so he'd have that in his collection because he's a pedal fanatic and I think he deserves it, that's for sure. And I would love to get this thing working because this is probably one of my favorite sounding pedals, like, ever, when it comes to drivers. So I got quite a few things here. I'm going to be doing boost shoutouts, you know, and this is also a boost, technically. So just keep in mind for what's coming up. Please like, subscribe, and share, guys. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope I didn't butcher my playing too much here. I hope I didn't make it sound like garbage, but you know what? I'm new. Cut me some slack. I'm trying, I promise. or just, you know, trash me in the comments. That's cool too. You know, I can take it. I'm a toughie. I'm a tough boy. I'm behind a keyboard, you know. So anyway, nah, seriously, guys, y'all are awesome. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. We've had a pretty quick growth. This is great. Absolutely love doing this. It's so much fun, and I hope I can continue doing it in the future. Anyway, hopefully there's nothing I forgot. Thank you all so much for joining, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.